Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, some of the wealthiest people on the planet made their money by real estate investing. We're going to learn all about that with two pros next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, if you tune into some cable networks, you see a lot of these real estate investing get-rich-quick shows, and they make it look super simple. But real estate investing is not for everyone, and you better do your due diligence before you make some kind of deal. To talk about that today, Zach Sams with Kensington Vanguard and Rush Graves. He's the president and CEO of AMR Capital. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Sure, and you've seen these shows before, and they inside of 15 minutes, and you see the commission. And the problem with not hiring a pro to do business with is you can make some really major mistakes. Do you want to start, Rush?
Yeah, you absolutely can. I know, especially as your people are looking for different real estate opportunities to get into, whether it's an uneducated or inexperienced syndicator through someone that doesn't know how operations really need to take place on properties. It can be quite costly. So it is a matter of finding someone that knows the business, perhaps even vertically integrated to handle the management, so on, depending on the type of property. And so that you can get the results that you're after, and they can hold their word on what where the property might lead or where profits might go.
And Zach, you and I have known each other for some time, and one of the reasons I love you so much is you're a man of integrity, and it's important to pick partners that you trust.
Absolutely. Not only is it important you pick partners you trust, but especially now as we've seen kind of real estate change a little bit, with the, mostly with the Fed raising rates as quickly as they have. A couple years ago, we used to joke that anybody could make money real estate investing because prices were going up so quickly that even if it wasn't a great deal, there was a good chance you were going to do well. Well, that's changed now. And so the people that you're investing with, the people that you're partnering with, it's always been important, but it's so vitally critical right now because to find good deals and to make money in this market, you need to be with really professional people that know what they're doing.
And staying with you, Zach, we're going to pull up your website. I want you to talk about why Kensington Vanguard is so successful.
Well, the title insurance industry is it's key when it comes to the real estate business. 90% of real estate transactions have, what we call debt or lending involved with it. And lenders are going to require that you have title insurance to protect the investment that they're making. Kensington Vanguard has been successful because we're a homegrown company. We were started in New York by two fantastic real estate people, Brian Cooper and Jarrett Fine. And they built the company with an entrepreneurial spirit. They've allowed people like me and others around the country to let us run with it and do what we do best. And we're kind of a niche where our entrepreneurial spirit allows us to make decisions in real time and focus on what's important for the client and not being stuck in a box, so to speak. So we've had a great run, and we're growing in every market that we're in. It's really exciting.
And Rush, let's bring you back into the conversation and put up your website because I know AMR Capital has a great reputation. Tell us more about your company.
Sure. So we are a basically vertically integrated asset manager focused on storage, industrial, the occasional residential, depending on who we have the opportunity to partner with. Been in the business. We were solely multifamily from 2006 through 2015. and since then made the transition really over to storage, a lot of self-storage being the bulk of what we do, own and operate. And it's just been a great path for us. It was still the same idea, multi-unit management, that a little less drama, not being in multifamily anymore, and really have the opportunity to excel for our investors. So it has worked out very well.
And I know something that we're all proud of is being here in Texas, because there are some great opportunities. We've got a little bit of video of the Dallas skyline, and let's talk uniquely about Dallas, because I think almost every major magazine has named it one of the hottest markets in the country. Rush, what makes Dallas so special?
Well, for us, one of the main factors has been the amount of people moving to the area. So in some areas that maybe a few years ago were somewhat isolated or desolate, now you see a lot more multifamily coming in, single-family home neighborhoods coming in that really adding to the area, whether it's creating more business, more of a base where others can come in from other areas and get a piece, experience what we have here in North Texas.
All right. Zach, why don't you pile on there? Why are you so proud to be a Texan, and especially in real estate in Texas?
Well, in the times we're in right now that, where the market's slowed a little bit, the overall economy is doing well, but definitely on real estate, which is so tied to the lending rates and those going up. I find myself saying a lot of times, well, one, at least we're in Texas, and two, it's a lot like, in the 08, 09, 2010 time when the economy was really in bad shape. We were really blessed to be in Texas at that time because, although things were down, we were still leading the country. And I see that we're in that same scenario today. We still have a lot of people moving here daily, a lot of companies moving here. Texas, by and large, it's more expensive to live here now than it was a few years ago, but it is still one of the most cost-effective places that you can live. We have a lot of land. Dallas can grow in any direction, and it is. And as long as those things hold true and, our political climate continues to be business friendly, Texas is going to continue to succeed. And not only in Dallas, but Austin, Houston. Houston is probably the real shining light of Texas right now and will continue to be over the next few decades as so much reshoring of our manufacturing and things are coming back to the States. Houston's going to be a leader there.
Yes. And if Zach seems familiar to you, it's because he was one of our podcasters for many years when this division was young. There you go. and look at who your guest is on this one. You were talking to no other than Rush Grave. So how long have you guys known each other?
It's got to be going on 5-6 years now.
5-6 years, yeah. We were introduced through a mutual friend who's also in the commercial real estate business. He's on the lending side, and he's still a really good friend of ours. Actually going to see him later today. And he's shout out to Will Givens over at Colliers. If you need debt, they're the guys to talk to, that's for sure.
And that's why I brought you guys in, because people, when it comes to real estate investing, they don't really want to do it themselves. There's so many landmines, aren't there?
It's true.
They find out that they don't want to do it themselves, usually, but there are a lot of landmines. I'll let Rush kind of take this one. That's his expertise.
That does seem to be, if it's not their opinion early on, it becomes their opinion. It's much better to have someone else operate and take care of that facility. So it might be a little easier to sit back and collect what comes from that site versus trying to get out and be an owner operator. It can certainly be a pain.
Sure. And when the economy gets weird like it's gotten lately, sometimes deals emerge. Like I think about 2008. If you loaded up in 2008, 2009, you did very well, didn't you? Rush?
Yeah, there were good opportunities then. I know that for us being in multifamily, as there were downtimes, we were there with different properties that were kind of a catch-all basket, even of just this clean operation. Maybe not in the best area, but we stayed full because of the, like I said, somebody got laid off, demoted, whatever the case may have been. So even during those times, there was opportunity in multifamily, for example, where you saw a big charge of people that needed those sites. So, and there it was. So if you were able to acquire a multifamily site, and now all of a sudden you're able to get occupancy up and rents up, it has served many quite well. I know that we did 8, 9, and 10 were actually some great years for us in multifamily.
Outstanding. So we only have a couple minutes left. So Zach, let's give some final thoughts. What would you like to say to the person who's thinking about sticking their toe in the water?
Well, to piggyback just kind of on what, your last question was with Rush, the difference between now and 08, 09 and, 2010 and even further on than that, the real estate values had gone down. We were on the other side of a mortgage crisis, and the rates for, the cost of money went, really to the bottom it could go. Money was practically free. So values down, money free, people were able to buy property. It really was a no-brainer. If you had cash and you could buy a property and you knew the values had gone down, which they had, and it was apparent to everyone, buy property. Today, it's a little bit different. It's not as easy because, one, the values really haven't gone down a whole lot. We haven't seen that yet. And I tell people all the time that sellers, they don't want to drop their price yet. Nobody wants to be the first one to do that. So with those differences, who you're choosing to invest with is critical. There are great opportunities. Real estate is one of the best you can invest in, but make sure you do your due diligence on who you're working with. And somebody like Rush is going to serve you well.
Rush, final thoughts.
Yeah, no, there are less opportunities out there now just because of a lot of people who were sellers a couple of years ago realized that they can't capitalize on a site the way they could back then, or maybe they the price they paid back then they can't touch now. So really, while I know that opportunities are there are just less of them. So really finding someone that you can invest alongside that knows the markets, has the relationships with those owners or brokers, and has the chance to keep up their pipeline of incoming deals to underwrite. That's really what it comes down to. It's a matter of interviewing, properly vetting who you might work with, just to realize whether or not they do in fact have that pipeline and those opportunities are there.
Outstanding. You guys have been amazing guests. We're going to end with both of your websites. We'll start with yours, Zach. That is kv-lonestar.com. And then finally, Rush's website is amr.capital. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.